My name is Joshua, and I am the Tribune. Today, God has ordered me to speak on the formidable dedication that must be operated in when He has called you to be His leader or His general in this coming era. But before we get into this, please do not compare this dedication or this level of commitment to anybody you see on the world stage, because I don't see one person who is operating in such a formidable dedication to Christ that Satan is terrified of them and people respect this person so much that they ask them, "Who is your God? I need to see who you're working for because I need to work with that God, the one true God, Jehovah, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit." It's very important. Now, before we get into this, we have to make sure that we address how God first starts approaching you when He is preparing you for formidable dedication. The first thing is that He sifts out any kind of reactionary passions that you have. Now, what do I mean when I say reactionary passions? What I mean is that your passions are all exterior. You are reacting to things that happen on the outside, situations, things you see, and your passions change all the time. You're just reacting. The passion isn't burning inside of you. It's just reactionary, and there's no actions that consistently match up with these so-called passions that you have. So the first thing He does is He actually eradicates this level of foolishness, because He must make sure that your passions are actually genuine and they're actually powerful on His level. So how does He do this? How does He start burning out these reactionary passions that we have? How He does it is He allows you to start doing things that you want to do and start moving in these passions that He knows are superficial, and He just lets it burn out. He'll just let you burn yourself out completely, because He knows that these passions are not His passions. These are passions that you just think you should be passionate about. Sometimes the passions that are reactionary are founded in something that He wants you to do, but you still haven't checked in with Him to know how He wants you to operate in these passions and how He wants you to be dedicated to them. So this process of having Him burn out these kind of reactionary passions leads you to one place where you seek Him to see, God, what are your passions and what passions do you want me to share with you so that I can actually move forward and learn this formidable dedication that you are trying to train me in. This leads to offensive passions. And what I mean by offensive passions is you become a trailblazer on the inside. You become somebody who is working off of fire that is burning from your inside in your spirit, and you are moving forward in consistent power with Christ on the missions that He's called you to. Now, from there, it's very important to understand, how does He actually train you to have this formidable dedication where you are advancing in His purpose and advancing in His mission no matter what, off of a fire that is built inside of your spirit. What does He do? What He does is He teaches you how to have maintenance in your work. And when I say maintenance, it's what it is people just start doing things. Even after God speaks to them, they just start moving. They try to just do extra, and they just try to go overboard in what God's doing, and they peter out. So what God does is He teaches you how to operate in His power and check in with Him, and how to be consistent in maintaining your level of excellency over time. Now, in order to do this, you have to check in with God, because remember, these are His missions. These are things that He speaks to you about, that He wants to do in your life. And then what He does is He actually gives you that power and that strength and that authority and that wisdom to know how much can you do and keep it up consistently for a long period of time. Now, this moves us to our next point, which is action steps. Many times when people are dealing with reactionary passions, they speak a lot, they talk a lot about things, and they sound so passionate, but their actions do not align with their mouths, because their mouths always change because they're reacting to situations. So they're not able to keep consistent action in their purpose. They're not able to connect with God and say, God, what are the action steps that you need right now that I can do on my highest level possible with you, that I can maintain for as long as you need me to maintain in this season and the next season? So if you find yourself talking a lot about passions, but they keep changing and there's no action, then you are dealing with reactionary passions. And he wants to get you back to offensive passions, which means you're a real trailblazer with him. Now, it's essential then to understand what do you need to build inside of you to get you to the point where you can actually operate in this offensive passion and have formidable dedication to God's purpose. What you need is a certain mentality that I like to call even if never. And what this means is that you need to get to the point where, God, I am not doing this for rewards. I am not doing this because I want some exterior benefits or something superficial that I think I should have and that I just like at the time, something that's way below your standards. And I'm doing this because I want something from you. You have to burn that out. And really, you can't do it on your own. He has to burn it out for you. So what he does is he actually puts you through so much training to get you to the point where you actually are doing what you're doing on a high level of excellence through his power without really wanting anything in return. You are just doing it because you love God and you understand that his passions need to be your passions for your life. And you want to connect with his purpose because that's the fulfilling thing, is working with the Lord, because that is he becomes your best friend. He is your father. He is everything to you. And this is what he wants to get you to. So what he does is he allows you to go through the process of actually you are working with him. And even if you're doing exactly what he wants you to do, you are working with him and moving forward. But he knows you're working and you're doing a good job, but you want something. You're expecting something from me at each stage. You're expecting all these different rewards. And that's why you're doing it. You are motivated by your rewards. So what he does is he will allow you to work with him and you will move forward, but you will be working with him in power without any exterior rewards that you think you should have. This is how he burns this out. So as you move forward, you start realizing, wow, he's not giving me the rewards that I think I should have and that I want. But what I begin to cherish is working in his power and actually having a relationship with him. And you begin to fall in love with his character and who he is. And then you start telling yourself this: I don't care, God, if you never give me what I think I should have. I trust you so much and I love you so much that I will keep moving in your purpose and keep advancing how you want me to advance with the excellence that you have trained me to operate in, no matter what. I will do this until I die, and if I die and I don't see the rewards that I think I should have, and I meet you face to face after I die, and you say, good job, son, good job, daughter, I am so proud of you, then that's what I want to see. That is more than enough reward for me. This is what he does, because you cannot work with him always just expecting all these rewards. The reason is because you are shooting too low. Maybe all the rewards you think you want are way worse than he even wants to give you. So if he knows he's bringing you to a place where it will be very fulfilling and extremely rewarding for you, but you peter out because you don't see some small raisin that he didn't give you, then you will never get to the place of true happiness and true peace, because one, you get to know the Father as your best friend, and two, you get to actually work with him and actually understand how to accomplish his purpose. So this is what his goal is. Now, when we get to the point where we are operating in excellence, I mean high excellence through his power like he teaches us, no matter what. I don't care if I don't like what's happening. I don't care if I look like my rewards are delayed. I don't care if it seems like for a season, God, you're not even here. I don't care if you stop talking to me for a little bit. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if you strip people away from me. I don't care what happens. I'm going to still operate in this excellence. What happens then is you then are formed into a mighty tool and a mighty weapon for Christ, which means that the enemy is horrified of you because there's nothing he can do to stop you from doing what God's mission is in your life. And this is what the goal is. The goal is to get to this point where you have formidable dedication and people start to wonder, wait a minute, how is this person even operating like this? Is this even possible? This has to be supernatural, which means it has to be God, and they're operating with the real God, and I need to know him. And this is how you need to get to the place where you are operating like this with God. Now, the goal then is to save souls and actually win souls to the kingdom for Christ. So do not be surprised then if during the process of formidable dedication that you're going through, that he allows you to operate in his power without the rewards that you think you should have, and maybe the rewards that other people think you should have too. Because that's where it becomes really special. Many people can just do a great job and keep working super hard if all their rewards are just fulfilled. They just feel like I'm getting everything I want, so I'm going to work hard. And many people actually can't even work hard consistently, even if they're getting what they want, which is really crazy. But we won't even address that. We'll address the people who actually, okay, it's easy to do a great job and operate in excellence when you're getting what you want. But when you are actually not getting what you want, and people around you are seeing that he actually should get this thing, or she deserves this, and she's not getting it, but she's still operating in a supernatural excellence that's so unbelievable. This is when you start to witness to the people around you and the people that God's bringing to you. This is when people start wondering, who is her God? And this is what our goal is. This is what God's goal is. We have to understand and remember during the tough training that this is God's agenda. Now, when we come through the process and we have formidable dedication in him, there is no other beautiful thing in the world. I mean, there's nothing else. It's so wonderful because you are operating like a spiritual machine. And he is actually taking his power, and he knows I can trust this person to operate in my power, which means that he gives you new commissions consistently. He even reassigns other people's commissions. Other people's, they couldn't do it because they petered out or they didn't want to go through the process. God is looking for people who have formidable dedication and who are willing to go through the process and actually come through to the other side where they have this kind of dedication so that he can actually dump down more assignments into them and actually work through them in such a powerful way. Now, this is when it becomes really crazy, because you will even see yourself that this dedication that you have that says, I don't care what happens. If I get nothing and nothing works out how I want, I'm going to still be standing here and I'm going to drop dead doing this. And God will be very pleased with me. What happens is he starts surprising you with new powers. He starts actually surprising you with new anointing that you didn't even want or didn't even expect. But now he starts showing you, wow, you are doing so well and operating in my power. And you have this mentality that actually facilitates this kind of power that I can actually dump down into you. And this is really what you want. You want to get to this place because then this is when it gets fun. Because he can actually have you operating in so many levels of power at once, which means he can do more with you and do more through you. And really, this is the reward. The reward is seeing what is God doing through you? What is the outcome? What are the outcomes that God is working on? I want to see wonders come out of my life. You should want to see powerful, powerful signs and wonders coming out of your life. This is the true reward. This is what fills you up because it comes out of a relationship with Christ that is very precious. It's the most precious thing in the world. So for all these people who are looking for these foolish rewards, and they're going to God saying, I want this. I hear these stupid things that these pastors are saying about, they'll give a great example for some kind of reward, and they'll say something like a house. Are you serious? I am not doing this for a house. In fact, Satan's children can buy a house without doing this. I'm not doing this for a house. I'm not doing this for a car. I'm not doing this for a yacht. I'm not doing this for a private jet. I'm not doing this for any kind of foolishness like that. It's appalling that I hear preachers talking about all these really banal, low things that people don't even need God to have these kind of things. I'm sorry. This is the new era. And this is why these people are going to get totally wiped off the scene. And I won't be sorry to see it. Because we need people in this coming time who their reward is operating in God's power. Their reward and all they want, I don't care where I am. As long as I have power coming out of me and I can see God's wonders working through my life, this is all that matters. This is formidable dedication. Satan greatly fears people like this because there's nothing he can do to stop them. He can't kill them. Oh, he's going to discourage them? How? And then on top of that, if he does come and try to discourage, I have such a relationship with God that he'll come and find me and help me and I'll get out of it in 2 seconds. And even if I'm discouraged, I still get stuff done because I have formidable dedication. And that's what you need to have. And this is why we're talking about it. I want to bring the people on this channel and the people who see this video in the future, because these things are going to last for all time. These principles are ageless and timeless. They will last forever. The people who hear this, I want to bring them so high that their rewards are not things that Satan's children are just scrambling after like tiny fleas. This is our goal, and this is the process of how God gets you to have formidable dedication. People should be astonished at how you move forward through adversity and not just survive it, but you build through it, and you have power coming through you, no matter what. And this kind of power that I'm talking about, this kind of dedication, it doesn't happen when people are around. It happens first when you are just alone with God. You shouldn't need people watching you to have this kind of power and dedication. True formidable dedication happens when you're by yourself. You're dedicated when it's just between you and God. You don't need one person to even applaud you. You just need God. And He is your world. So God wants to get you to this, even if you never give me what I think I want. He wants to get you to that mentality. So when you see Him operating so much power through you and moving you and advancing you in His purpose and in His preparation for purpose even, or He's just talking to you and you're even listening to Him, and you're not seeing what you want, know that this is what He's after. And the faster you get to this place, the faster you'll get to the real rewards, which is seeing God birth things through your life. This is what formidable dedication is about. Now remember, we have to make sure that we know what we need to maintain. We have to maintain that kind of excellence. You really shouldn't be doing anything that you can't maintain. I'd rather do nothing than to try to do all these excellent things and not being able to maintain it. Because if you can't maintain excellence, every time that you drop something, you drop the ball on some kind of power move or excellence that you actually can't maintain, you are actually wounding your soul and actually stifling your spirit. And it's harder then to seek God, it's harder to hear God, and it's harder to follow His instruction if you're ruining your own morale because you are doing things and not realizing that you can't maintain them. This is why it's essential to seek God on how He wants to work through you so that you can actually rely on His power to maintain that high level of excellence that He's calling you to. You cannot do it without Him. So you shouldn't even try. It's better to stop. If you do not know the level of excellence God is calling you to, then stop. Don't do anything. You need to understand that first, because you will save yourself energy and power. Now make sure that your goal is now to not only train yourself with God to achieve formidable dedication, but to actually maintain it throughout your life with God, because this is when you will never be disappointed. Hail Jehovah.